Hi Cancer, here's a general look at your solar chart for September 2011. Now, it looks busy. It looks like you're going to be mentally very much on the go and discussing a lot, making connections with others, bouncing ideas off others in person, over the wires. Some contacts may be unusual, some may be inspiring. There could also be the odd moment of feeling stuck or delayed due to what's going on kind of in the home area and on the home base, or maybe more on your shoulders because of family or what's going on related to the home base or property in general, or your space inside, outside. So yes, a very, very sort of mentally active, very mentally busy time, particularly from the 8th, but there's a lovely friendly feel where you can really connect well with some people also, and hear some nice things that brighten up your day, things also which could be useful to you. And for some of you, this is going to highlight siblings, brothers, sisters, or maybe it's soul brothers and sisters. Then from mid-month, Venus comes into the root of your chart. It's a very warm, sociable energy there, influencing the foundations of your life. That's regarding family, property, your place on the map, your neighborhood, your tribe as well. Really, really harmonizing influence there. It will really help you to iron out difficulties, maybe with perhaps it's nearest and dearest, maybe you're the referee. Or it could be regarding, property sale, or kind of some sort of transfer. Maybe it's not a big piece of property, maybe it's just a small piece. But anyway, or it could be working as you just wanting to decorate, just make things nicer around you, sort things out, but just to embellish wherever you are. Or another way it can work is that you simply are kind of, hanging out with people or a certain significant other or family and really enjoying each other's company and where you are, and that's from mid-month onwards. Although I have to say that just after mid-month, that's to say between the 14th to, let's give it a wide margin, let's say the 14th to the 20th, Venus is going over a couple of the big hitters, and if that lines up with your sun or your moon or any other important point in your natal chart, then it could mean a sudden break or renewal in a relationship. Just an unexpected turn of events could affect income as well. But it could mean that your feelings are really intense. You could be around a relationship, or it could be around finances or any other valuable resource. A real sort of intensity with this one. Passions could run high. For those of you who were affected by the very powerful eclipse on the 1st of July, there was two ways to go with that one. And not all of you would have been, although the ripples kind of ray out, to a lesser and lesser degree, to the outer degrees of the sign. But really that was a kind of a choice point, whether to get on with your own path, self-awareness, self-understanding, self-love, self-valuing without any ego. It's a fine line. If you went that way with it, then either this Venus transit lines up with any important point in your natal chart, your sun or your moon, then it's not going to be much of a hiccup. It'll just be yet another reminder, in a way, to be getting on, with your thing, or be, more the real you. So, as I say, Venus brings this lovely energy into the root of your chart. So apart from that little section there, whether it does or it might not make any difference to what goes on for you at all, but if you see somebody else undergoing something around that time, you might then realize, that they're feeling a lot more sensitive and maybe a bit wobbly, if it's not you. So, yeah, it's very much reciprocal support when Venus goes into that area there. It is before the middle of the month, as a matter of fact, but it's kind of more on a mental level. After the middle of the month, Venus comes into this kind of emotional part of you, where you really do feel held and valued by others, but also you, as I say, it's reciprocal. You can also give of that feeling of support and just the energy of warmth, really, and friendship towards others. So you could be feeling a little bit sensitive, you could be feeling a bit nostalgic, you could be harking back to the past, you could be just thinking about the past more than usual. As I say, there could be quite strong interchanges with family, neighborhood, tribe. You could even be, honoring the ancestors at this time, really, really looking way back into the ancestry, whether it's your own or whether it's just history in general. And you'll probably, though, as I say, be busy in your head, have a lot to do. You've got Mars in your sign, so you're mentally on the go, doing a lot of discussing, maybe arranging, organising, negotiating even. But with Mars in your sign, careful not to spread yourself too thin. You've got that adrenaline planet in your sign up until the 18th. So it's going to give you the physical stamina, but, be sensible about not overdoing it and overstretching. And then from the 18th, well, then it's all about your stuff. Whether that's a small piece of kit or whether it's, a large piece of property, it's likely to have importance for you, value. You have an association with certain bits of bric-a-brac or other things which are, more important. So you just want to make improvements with your stuff, or maybe you've got to push stuff around, you've got to lift stuff, put stuff down, you've got to maybe be considering how much stuff you've got. Maybe you've got too much, how to weed it out, or maybe you're keen to get your hands on more stuff. So, or you're perhaps helping somebody else with their stuff. So maybe you could be using physical energy, just being concerned and discussing and focusing on stuff, and also with so much activity going on regarding the home base and family, and by family I not only mean humans, I mean animals as well, so pets, and so after the 18th, you could be feeling, very much more dynamic, rolling up your sleeves, come on, we've got to get all this basic stuff sorted out, and feeling quite enterprising in a business sense as well, maybe, putting things in place for the future, perhaps, considering ways to improve cash flow, gathering, protecting other kinds of resources, and you may be taking steps also to improve health and fitness. That could be your own or somebody else's, because that also is going to be lit up by that move of Mars. So buying, selling, negotiating, having your mind very much on the material security area, and putting physical effort into it from the 18th, so that you can get organized, related to all that basic stuff upon which we all rely. And we can't sort of really even get kind of, up in the morning unless we got some basic stuff, roof over our head, water, food, and you will be feeling more like initiating, getting the ball rolling, getting decisive about things, and that would be really all month, but particularly from the 18th onwards. Now, maybe you're sorting out a space, which is your own or somebody else's, and then you're getting practical things done in a space, inside, outside, but also it could be about another kind of resource, from a bunch of carrots, or should I say, a bag of apples to an apple mac. And also you could be trying to harvest perhaps what you seeded previously. So whatever it means to you. Now, every month I speak about the slower moving planets, the further flung planets. They don't move a great deal every month. Some months they're more relevant than others, but you could, I'm going to speak about them again here now, and I always kind of add a bit or take a bit away as the sort of the moment kind of takes me. But if you would like to look at, because I do put it all on the website as well, so if you'd like to look at the website, then you can stop viewing this video right here, and you can have a look at the website, because dates and so on will change a little bit. But in the meantime, I'll just run over these again in brief. Jupiter, you may or may not know, is in a very friendly angle to your sun sign. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and abundance, potentially, is now in earthy Taurus, goes very well with your watery Cancer, and this move of Jupiter is going to help you make new friends, open new doors through a new social circle, a new friendship. Old friendships as well could become very important, some of them. Also, you're getting this feeling that at last you can make progress with a long-awaited scheme or hope or dream. The universe is saying, okay, you've got a green light, just go through now. And it can be very good news for you, Cancer. Also, the area that Jupiter, the expansive energy of Jupiter is going to be in is quite unconventional. It's quite, gets you thinking along futuristic, unconventional lines in certain areas of your life. So, as I say, that's a nice one. Now, Saturn, until the autumn of 2012, Saturn is going to be affecting the very roots of your life around property, domestic circumstances, family, but also, on another level, your deeper inner self. So it's about private life and your inner circle and your neighborhood and, where you live and your place on the map and all of that stuff. But also internally, it's about you coming up against the resistance. So that resistance and that kind of feeling of challenge and trying to get it right and maybe feeling pretty tested sometimes is around all of that external stuff, but it's also around you in here. And maybe, there's a value in you understanding more about what memories you hang on to, what scriptings you hang on to, what you've internalized from the past, which actually isn't yours at all, and you can just ditch it. You as a Cancerian have a highly sensitive nature and a very long memory. So some of those things that you cling to in your experience, in your memory, you don't need to. So it might be about that. It might be that you are actually squaring up to a few home truths, how you always fall down that same old hole in the road, and it's not getting you anywhere, and so you better stop doing it. Easier said than done. But this transit of Saturn will give you the chance to do that, to kind of start recontouring your life from the ground up in external ways and internal ways. And some of you could even, make a very radical move, particularly those of you who've got Uranus and Pluto coming at you at the same time. And you Cancerians who are born around about, don't take this too rigidly, but it won't be far off, round about the 5th to the 13th of July, or with 13 to 20 degrees of Cancer rising, going to feel this Saturn influence most this month. Now, Uranus, also, the awakening energy of Uranus is going to be at the top of your chart, to do with your general life direction and your career, your professional direction. It's going to be there for many, 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 many years, and there'll be a lot of change with this energy, and a new array of options will open up to you. It's very experimental. You just need to be adaptable and flexible. And those Cancerians born 22nd to the 27th of June, around about, or with the first around about 6 degrees of Cancer rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. Neptune is moving back into Aquarius temporarily. That's until next February. So blurred boundaries, lack of control, a feeling of lack of control over finances. Where my responsibility ends and theirs begins. My space ends, theirs begins. My money ends, theirs begins. It's around finance, it's around property, but it's also around, their values clashing with mine sometimes. Can we get along together somehow? Can we reciprocate, or maybe we can't? So let's just call it a day. There's a lot about that, but it's a kind of the waters can get muddied sometimes. And you really do need to, wherever Neptune is, strive to be clear, really crystal clear, and don't just assume that somebody else will do this or is singing from the same page as you. And you Cancerians born in really the first day or the very last couple of days of Cancer, or with a degree or of Cancer rising, or in fact the last 2 degrees of Cancer rising, are going to feel this energy the most this month. And Pluto, Pluto is also impacting parts of your sign very strongly. That's in the area of your one-to-one relationships for many years, meaning that the universe is going to mature you through your close relationships, whether that's a fleeting one, or whether that's a business one, or whether that's like a real long-term one, or a very, very kind of intense, passionate one, or with family one. It can be any type, but there will be endings and beginnings there. And occasional struggles as you strive to kind of mature and know where to draw the line, and also understand very strongly where they're coming from. So really, actually, it's not about them, it's all your stuff. This is your transit. So Pluto's vibration can mean that inheritance or jointly held property or monies can cause conflict sometimes. But it's all about regeneration. It's just all about rebirth, Pluto. And so as you slowly kind of are deepened and matured by the action of Pluto, then there will be this wonderful resurrection, through a wonderful new, happy, harmonious relationship. But primarily, you've got to get into that kind of harmony with yourself. And you Cancerians born 23rd of June to 29th, around about there, or with 1 to 7 degrees, around about degrees of Cancer rising, will feel this influence most strongly this month. And from the 22nd, the focus will probably be even more upon home or family members. Towards the end of the month, could be a little bit of a hiccup there. You just might have to kind of really step up to the plate and really focus there is quite fleeting, and then you should be fine. So that's it for September. If you know your rising sign and even your moon sign, it might be interesting to listen to the forecast for your moon sign. Sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. It'll anyway add to or subtract from what I've said here, and I'll see you the next time.